Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my life science classes from Mr. Hescox. We are getting into chapter 14. This is all about ecology and parts of the environment, and eventually we'll get into biomes. And just to get you thinking today, your warm-up question was, what is the biggest threat to Earth's ecology today? So you might have said overfishing, pollution, deforestation, wetland destruction. Um, if you watch the news, they always talk about global warming. Those are all major problems that we, the human race, have caused and are trying to repair. Well, some people are. So this section, the first section, what is an environment and what is it comprised of? There's reading, and then you'll do the guided reading, and then the second half of this will come with the review for 14.1. Ecosystems support life. So an ecosystem basically is all of the living and non-living things in an area. To study this, one of my favorite college classes of all time was ecology. I love being outside, and this is the time of year where you really love to be outside. If you like fishing or the woods or planting flowers, these are all types of things that you could study in ecology because you're looking at how living things interact in their environment. Now, a living thing is an organism, so you have to look at the temperature, the water, the soil, the predators, all of these different factors are involved in ecology. If we look at this picture right here, you see a big pond. Well, that big pond has a forest around it. So you try and come up with some ideas of interactions that you may find in here. So to be an interaction, it has to be one organism on another. It could be as simple as fish and insects eating in the pond. There may be deer drinking, because deer have to drink water too. You got all these trees. It could be frogs on lilies. See if you can come up with a couple of others on your own. It can be as simple as the trees going through photosynthesis and releasing oxygen. So there's literally hundreds that you could come up with if you use your imagination there. Over here, it almost looks like a beaver dam. That would be a really good one. So beaver dams would be the whole water changing because of the organisms there. An ecosystem is an environment and all of the living things that are supported by it. It can be a small environment or an enclosed environment like a fish tank, or it could be very large like the ocean. The ocean is so large that it is actually divided into different zones depending on the close to the beach, or the tidal zones, or the depth, because as you go deeper and deeper in the ocean, you have different types of environments based on the sunlight available. The living things have to interact with the non-living things. So a living thing is what we call biotic, and then the non-living things are what we call abiotic. So these living things are our biotic factors. Biotic, bio meaning life, and then non-living, the A in front of this means not, so abiotic means not living. There's a really good video there that I want you guys to make sure you watch. Some types of biotic factors that you will find in the environment. So you have plants. Well, plants are food for many things. They give off oxygen that's needed for many animals. Plants can give shelter. Plants can also take nutrients from the soil. So not only are plants good for the environment, but too many plants over time can actually overdo the soils. Animals can affect the ecosystem because animals can kill too many plants, but it's humans chopping them down, or it can be just like a herd of cattle overgrazing a field. If you've ever seen like a horse pasture where there's too many different animals, they have actually killed them off. So abiotic factors affect ecosystems. So this would be your sunlight, your weather. This would be the temperature. The climate is very, very important. The type of soil. When we get into the biomes, I like to stress, when we talk about biomes, you've got to talk about the nutrients in the soil or lack thereof, depending on where you're at. How much rainfall? Are the soils acidic or not? All of these things directly affect the types of plants that are there, and then by affecting the plants, that will affect the organisms that live there. So, to finish up the first half of this lesson, it asks for biotic and abiotic factors. So let's try and make some lists. It could be either one of these pictures here. Um, in this picture, there's the water. Water is abiotic. If we did biotic pictures, obviously you got the deer. Over here, I can see the sunlight. That's abiotic. The amount of sunlight directly affects the types of plants. Well, plants are biotic. Could be trees and ferns. I see a lot of trees and I see a lot of ferns. Okay, well, this to me looks like it's some sort of a rainforest, so you've got temperature. It's probably warm there. It's clearly not frozen. Maybe if it's a deer, you've probably got insects, maybe ticks, which are not actually insects, by the way. Most deer have parasites, fleas and ticks. Um, Obviously, you can't see it, but there's rocks and soil. There's soil down here. Soil is abiotic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that takes us to the halfway point. I will be back in our next video to finish this first section on different types of abiotic factors involved in the environment. So make sure you get your reading done for this section. It is 473 to 477, and the guided reading sheet is 14.1. Until next time, I'm Mr. Hescox. You guys be good, be safe. See ya.